Hey everybody, and welcome. Let's start with our stream. So this is the third stream for our A-frame house. I would like to say hi to everybody that's live with me. And if you're watching on YouTube, well, I hope you enjoy this stream that we have no idea how it's gonna end up in when it's actually finished. So who do I have with me today? We have some new people. Matt Hawk is back. Hey man. All right, so this is basically where we are at the moment. Like I've posted on Facebook, I actually did try and get this thing into Unreal so I can see or better get an idea as to how this thing looks like uh, regarding the space when you're basically like walking around the scene. I can show you right away, so you get an idea as to where we are with this. So in this stream, I think it would be a good idea to focus a bit about adding in some general details for this house, like certain types of doors, certain types of furniture, play around with the actual interior of the house, like maybe some stuff like here is general outlook on how this thing looks. Just flip this thing around, and here, like I said, this is a very rough uh, outlook for this thing. But as you can see, even the textures are more or less out of tune. But we can see or get a better idea as to how big this thing is. So when you walk into the house or walk in here, you can see that it has this nice tight hall, which kind of makes it so we can put some decorations on the side. We can have some doors here to go inside here. From what I can see, when you walk in here, kind of gives that cozy look because this thing falls down. So this means we can have one bed on this side, another one on this side, and this room would be more or less just this big. And this room again, slightly smaller. We can make this something like a bathroom, I guess, which would make some sense. Now this piece over here, I'm probably gonna end up converting this thing into some sort of a kitchen of a sort. And then in here, what I can see is that I'm gonna have to like extend this thing more to this side, and I have one step going from this side, so you can basically hop on over here. Gotta get rid of this piece because it's kind of in the way. So get over here, go up, and in here, this thing, like the last time we were streaming, we basically said that we are gonna make this thing into some sort of a stove or something to heat this thing up. So here, I'm gonna have to put in one door, and we're gonna get one very small room here. And on this side, we can have a balcony, a small balcony. So what I can do here though is make this thing so it kind of protrudes out and it has a bit more room. Otherwise, this is going to be a very small or compact room. So all in all, not a bad outlook for this A-frame house that we have so far. And from what I can see also, I'm going to have to do some type of a stairs or walking here, or if we don't want to have this thing like showing up, we can board it up, put up some planks over here and on this side, and basically cover it up. So that's gonna be more or less what I want to do today on this stream. And when I started playing around with this thing in Unreal and actually seeing how this thing looks like, I really want to make an environment for this thing, something like a forest, get maybe even some snow into here, or maybe an autumn scene, or maybe even a summer scene. We'll see how that thing envelops. But so far on today's stream, I want to get something in here for the living room, put something here for the kitchen, get some doors in here, and get some windows get up some stuff over here and basically get this thing prepared for the next step. All right, so I'm going to turn this thing off and hop back into Max so we can start from here. All right, so let me just check really quickly how I have my stuff set up. All right, let's start off with what I have here, which is the placeholder that I had for the bubble chimney. Now let's open up a reference. Well, actually, I'm going to have to open up and find a bubble chimney. All right, so this was from the last time we were looking for stuff. So go bubble chimney. Really, bubble chimney. And this thing looks interesting. Bubble chimney, something like this. All right, how is this thing made? So this is basically a sphere that has a cylinder going up and it has an opening in the middle. And I guess this thing slides. This is like the door, but we can use some heat resistant glass in there so we can see the interior of the fire, which might be an interesting addition when we're in Unreal to put in some actual flames going in there, which would require some particle effects, but nothing too bad. All right, so let's create something like this then. I'm gonna isolate this and start making stuff in our new layer and call this assets. All right, cool. Now, sphere. Like I said, this is not a complicated element, so just plop in one. All right, so 73, would be too much, so 70. Rotate this thing 90. There we go. Pull it in. From what I saw, this is not actually a sphere, but more of a elliptical look like this. Okay, cool, more or less to what we wanted to have. So select this thing, I'm gonna isolate it now. And the great thing about this is that I don't really need this many segments here. So let's try with 16, this is gonna have it. All right, cool. So with halving this, it's gonna make it easier for me. There we go. All right, by having this, I can actually work on a lower geometry model, and then we can get the extra geometry with the help of the Turbo Smooth. So edit poly, and right away I want to get rid of this thing. Or before I do that, I'm gonna click revert to enable poly. Select this, delete, and like I said, right away I want to make the geometry that's going to be used for the actual chimney. So put it upwards, and since this thing needs to be round or perfect round, I'm just going to right click and regularize this. This is the script regularize. I've actually used this thing multiple times so far. You can see how I'm working with it in some of my other videos if you haven't used it yet. I do have a tutorial about it, so I'm not going to go into depth about using that. So let's select this thing. Well, actually, you know what? Before I do this, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to leave this thing open. And once we're finished with everything, then we're going to add up that thing. So now I'm going to take these four, and I can either detach this and use it as a cover, which would actually be a very good idea. So let's go detach, not as a clone, but actually as an element, or just as an object. Click OK. Now select this thing. That's cool. We have it. All right, so isolate just this. And now I want to make this so it has an actual interior to it. So I'm going to click shift and hold it inwards. Actually go just once. Now scale it outwards so you get a bit more. Pull it in. Yeah, I think this is gonna be better like this. But nah, just let's not make it complicated for something that does not need to be complicated. What I could have done is also apply a shell and get it from there, but I really doubted that anybody's gonna be, or maybe somebody is going to like be looking inside. So let's just go that way. Make it a shell and go to 0 here. Let's give it like 5 centimeters. Yeah, 5 centimeters should be more than enough. All right, cool. Let's get it ready. So once we actually add in the turbo smooth, it doesn't break up. So hit connect. 2 segments, pinch them apart like this. So 90 would be fine. I don't need the upper one, delete. Or better yet, what I've done is instead of doing it one by one and just getting a problem, just go like this. Select all the ones that are going across. Hey Shinoda. Nah, not really. Not in a hurry at all. I just want to get stuff made here. So pinch 85 is enough. Remove that thing. Collapse. And cool, that's going to hold up the form. And there we go. Last week on Thursday, I had some other stuff I had to do, so I missed out on one of my streams. It kind of sucked. I really don't like missing my streams, especially since I've placed it as a sort of a personal goal to try and get at least 2 streams per week. But just to make it up to you guys, I actually ended up recording 5 additional tutorials. So they should be out by tomorrow, maybe, depending on how long it takes for them to render. This gonna work. Now the interior, let's see how the thing is gonna hold up. It's gonna crash around here, so it's gonna need some chamfers. There, here, here. I will probably need one more to go in there as well. I will say. Click OK, that's fine. So collapse, remove. Really? Collapse, remove, and collapse and remove. We get these guys up, collapse and remove. All right, let's see how this thing works with the turbo smooth. Yeah, like I thought, it's gonna miss this thing. It's gonna have the same problem on all sides. All right, we'll fix that. It has that pinching here, so it shouldn't be doing that thing. Yeah, it's gonna continue doing that thing. All right, let's go with removing that. Yeah, it's this problem here. So see it this way. Ah, damn it. Whatever. Ah, okay. Collapse. Nope. Don't collapse those. Instead, collapse these. All right, this is cluster fucks. I'm not gonna be. Oh, I'm not gonna do that thing. All right, I'm gonna do it the simpler way then. We're gonna do it this way. Get those two and those two. One smoothing group. Get those 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One smoothing group. Turbo smooth. Smoothing groups. I'm no longer having those issues. Got to apply one smoothing group to everything on the outside. Make it so it's angle 45. So, okay, one smoothing group and one on the inside, one smoothing group. Much simpler without actually having to do this. In order to get rid of these though, probably gonna have to add in a bit more geometry just so I don't get these spikes, but when I take a look at it from the top, it's actually, this would be just right, especially if I anti-ice, damn it, the hell. What is this? Okay, let me just do this then. Okay, so now turbo smooth. Yeah, see that thing covers up that area perfectly. All right. Turn that thing off. Isolate just this thing. I don't want to have this sharp edge or this sharp edge here. So I'm going to try and do this thing one more time, but like this with the chamfer. Before I do that, I'm going to edit poly. Just if something goes terribly wrong, you just delete the chamfer there. All right, chamfer, small amount. Maybe something like 4 centimeters, and go from target welds there to there, there to there. I'm gonna have one quad, won't be much of a problem, just copy it like that. Target weld. I'm gonna have a triangle there, but that triangle will be fixed up with a smoothing group, and we'll see how that thing looks. So, no. Target welds, there to there, there to there, and there to there. Select these two, copy, select this, copy. Inner, damn it, on the inside, the same thing. Okay. One there, one there. Actually, before I do this, I'm just see how this thing is going to look like. Okay, so that's fine. One angle, okay, there. So in here, although I don't want to have everything as one smoothing group, so I'm going to deselect those 4 guys. So okay. So now when I turn with the turbo smooth, it's still gonna have that suspension decoders. All right, I'll have to work a bit on that thing. All right, so in here, I want to have some sort of a grill on which I can actually put the wood that I'm going to be burning. So the grill can be just plain, or do I go with a plain? Yeah, I can go with a plain. Something like this. Move it upwards, up until here. There we go, something like this. All right, now I want to go in and let's put in some more segments. Like let's test that 20 by 20 until I get a mesh grill like this. Edit poly and just go in and cut out where I need this thing to be. Something like this. This will mean that I can select everything that I don't need. Nice. Ah, do this. All right, let me just do this. So edit poly, select everything, hit connect. One segment is fine. Control I, control backspace, just so I get that inverted mesh like. And here on this mesh, I can select everything that I don't need that's outside. So here, and just grow. And delete, and much faster. Nope, not that much. All right, that's at least better. So, all right, so now start moving stuff with the smoothing or the soft selection. Hey, man. Hey, everybody. I do apologize if I don't see you right away when you say hi. Oh, I just decreased the fall off. Don't want it that much out. Like this, it's in. Move it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, really? I really should have cranked that up. So I have to move everything by hand, but fine, I guess it's gonna be okay. Everything's inside, it's no longer protruding. There we go, move this thing inwards. Okay, cool. Just gotta move a few more edges in here. There we go, that thing is in, that thing is in as well. All right, cool. So now, do some selection, select everything. And from here, I can either go and apply a lathe modifier or a lattice modifier. See how that thing is gonna work with the lattice? And go struts only from edges. Decrease the radius. Something like this. Segments is fine. 6 sides, or maybe even 8 sides, until we get it to something like a grill. Maybe even something slightly smaller, 0.3. All right. And that's cool enough. Let's me just go in here and very ever so slightly just move some of these vertices inwards so they're not protruding out. Do I have anything else? Yep, these guys. All right, make it so it follows better. All right, I got a few more that are sticking out. All right, cool. We got this thing going on. Now, what I can do here, come to think of it, I can give it some sort of a corner, so it kind of covers up this crappy pinching that I'm getting here. Or what I can do also is get the whole edge in here, like that, and give it a chamfer. That chamfer should help with this issue. So 1.5. Let's see how that thing is going to deal with this. So collapse, collapse, and collapse. So this thing is one smoothing group, this thing is another. Okay, add 1, 2, 3, and 4. Give them their own smoothing group. And just doing the same crap again on the bottom and the top. I really don't want to add a whole loop going around the whole thing, but I guess if I want to get rid of that issue, just go back, add in one loop going across, and now it ends up with a quad. There we go. No longer doing that thing, but now it's breaking up my whole circle thing, and I don't like that thing, so go back. All right, so leave it like that. And another thing I want to change is get these guys in here. Skip one, select one, control backspace, so I actually end up with quads on the bottom like that. Okay, good enough for now. Click OK, it's great. Get this thing. Why is this thing protruding out now? All right, that's fine. I have my mesh. Dark color. Cool. I'm actually going to collapse this so that I have that Windows popping noise every time I select that thing. So ND isolate. This is going to be the cover. Hey Jeff, what up, man? Okay, now blueprints and hide everything back. Scene. Holy crap, this is big now. I think I've made this thing a tad too big. Yep, I have made this thing way too big. So 180. What the hell's with this music? All right, let me just hide some of the stuff here, hide the roof. hide the exterior walls. It's fine. There we go. So I have this, and I definitely want to make this thing smaller. Way too big this way. All right. So split beams. Okay. Move it more to this side. Cool. All right, so the burner is going to be fine. Now, let's make that chimney or element over here. So I did poly on top of the turbo smooth because I wanted to have the same amount of geometry as in, oh, actually, you know what? Let's go and build over here. Go and do this. Get this thing, create shape, linear, that's fine. And now from that shape, I want to put an edit poly, extrude outwards, delete that thing, and now I have that geometry to play around with. I'm gonna hide this thing on the side. Get everything fixed up. That actually is the right size. I want to take this thing and pull it outwards, all the way up. Later on, we're going to see where that thing is going to go. But for now, just leave it like that. And reapply the turbo smooth. Apply a turbo smooth on top of this. So now the only thing that I want in here is I'm going to put it on one edit poly here, drop one segment or one cut in there, one ring, select this thing, detach as a clone. And the reason for doing this is I want to have some sort of a connector here that is going to connect my chimney here with, or my exhaust pipe here with actual burner. So for this, I'm going to put a shelf. 0 by 3. That is going to work just fine. Select this thing, move it down like so. Select this, give it a chamfer. Give it a darker color or something like this blue color. All right, cool. Give this thing a different color as well, so I can see what is going on. All right, so yeah, this is one of those, what were they called? Where's my sheet? It's called the bubble chimney, something similar to this thing. Oh, you see, this thing is actually rounded up. In my case, it's much more, what do I have under up? It's much more flat. Oh man, if I had this thing made so it would have been rounded, this would have been so much easier, but I had to make stuff for me to be like complicated. Just crap, whatever. Oh, what is this? Why am I having this issue? Alright, whatever. Alright, for everybody that's just popping in, when we started off, I showed everybody the map that I tested out this house in Unreal when we imported it, so I get a better feel as to how big this thing is. The thing that we were just making, which is this burner, this furnace, will be basically where exactly this thing is at the moment. So we're going to be putting it inside Unreal. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna fix up this staircase or stairway, so when we're going up, we can just like go up from here, go up here, and then walk up there. We're gonna have to do some doors and some windows. Probably gonna have to put in some windows in here, or make this thing into an actual bathroom, make this thing into an actual workable kitchen, and do some stuff for the living room. And from there, we're gonna have to do something about this very, very tiny room here, do something about it. I wanna add in either a place that kind of bulges out on this side, something like something like I've seen in one of the reference files that we used. Let me just see, where was it? The A-frame house. Something similar to this thing. I want to get something like this, so it kind of expands the upper room. It doesn't have to go all the way down, it's just something like this. How are you gonna make fire? Why with particles? But I'm bitmap. Okay, so I want to get this thing with, like I said, with fire. So when we get it inside Unreal, you can actually see the fire like working in it or like burning. When you're walking around, you can hear the crackling of the fire or hear sounds, stuff like that. So that thing is gonna be for this part, and yeah. Slowly build up stuff for this room. Now, what I do want you guys to do is, while I'm like modeling some of the stuff that's going to be preparing for the main event, I want you to try and find some elements that you want me to model and put in the living room or in the kitchen. But bear in mind, we're trying to make it so this is something like a mountain cottage. It's not like an everyday living house. So we're trying to make it so it's gonna be cozy. Something that's really comfy to like come in and enjoy a weekend or something. This thing down. Leave it like this. All right. Hey man, I get him. All right. Let's do it like this then. Again, this thing I'm going to delete and cap, select both of them, move them to the back like so, all the way up to the window, and the window with the actual wall. Select this thing, extrude outwards, and we get one step here as well. All right, so now we can actually have one step going up. And here's a thing that I wanted to remove, and that is when we were walking up the stairs, I noticed that this individual plank here is in the way. So we're gonna have to deal with that thing. And instead of like trying to find an actual workable workaround, I'm just gonna delete that thing. It's not gonna collapse our house. Well, no, actually it might collapse it, but this beam is still supported by this thing. So, plus we're not building this house, we're just making this house so it has to look nice. And let's see how big that thing is actually. So I'm gonna move this. Oh, hey, wait a second. This really might be a problem here. Oh, this is very low. God damn. It's a problem. Okay, so that problem is going to be dealt this way. Delete that thing. Delete that thing. And then select this thing. I do apologize for this. So I'm going to go down. probably need a bit more of these steps, but I guess now since we're cheating, just do it like this. Yeah, the thing here is that the problem is not the height of the floor. The problem is that this is an inclined ceiling. So when you're actually coming from here, you get this problem. Like when you're walking up, the roof on this side has a slope. So it kind of takes away from the height, as you can see here. But now with the change, like I can see in here, let's put this thing just a tiny bit lower then. All right, that's actually just fine. So that one as well. Move it down like that. All right, that's gonna work for now. If nothing else, if this thing does not work like this, I'm actually gonna go ahead and model a proper stair, because this thing looks very, very steep. It probably shouldn't be this way, but we'll see. This way around, this is like from here to the actual ceiling for this thing is 190. So this guy is about 185 tall. So if he can just like move in here without bumping his head, I'm happy with it. The reason why I'm happy with it is because that's my height, and if I don't bump my head, nobody's gonna bump their head, unless you're freakishly tall. In that case, you better duck. Alright, so let's... There we go. Get this thing back here. Yeah, that's gonna be fine. Actually, just see how tall this thing is then. Put it here. Ah, alright. I think it's a bit too low. It might need to be a tad bit taller. So move upwards like this. Yeah, I think it's good enough. So 0, 0, 0. Just move the gut. Just move the damn pivot only. Don't move the whole frame. Whatever. Just move this guy over here. All right. That is okay. That's fine. Now, let's deal with the elephant in the room. That is the fact that we're missing a door, and we're missing something more important. We're missing some windows as well. So let's see what kind of a door and windows we can use for this thing. Windows can use something like this, or something like this. This is a different thing. So it's very squarish windows everywhere. Something like this can work as well. Alright, for door, I actually like this one because you can actually get some light going in through the glass. Alright, let's make something like this then. And also, I want to see how big a door should be. Because this thing looks way too small. So let's go ahead and get this thing. So go to door size. 18 target, or what is this? Door size for houses. It's fine. 6 feet by 6 inches. Why is everything in feet? Damn it, just give me meters. external door, 1 meter by 2 meters to 1.2 by 2. Internal door, external. So okay, 2 by 1. Bathroom, small garage, internal doors. So 1 by 2. So it's all right, more or less 1 by 2. So that would be a box that's going to be 1 by 2. So 100 by 200. And god damn, this is big. All right, let's isolate these two and see if we can squeeze in a door in here. 2 meters by 80 centimeters. All right, thank you, Dimitri. So not 100, but 80. Yeah, 80 is gonna be just fine then. Oh yeah, this is gonna work. Much obliged. All right, so squeeze it so it's there. Get the size in there. And now the very important thing, get everything in here, like all of these guys. First I'll make them planar. And now all the same height. So I know that the height is going to be the same. Ah, so this is just the door without the frame. So that's where those extra 20 centimeters are going. All right, in this case though, I think the frame is going to be embedded into the actual wall. So it's going to work just fine, like this. This is going to be the door. So we'll get this thing to about, how much is it, like 4 or 5 centimeters? Yeah, it's gonna work. This will be fine. Problem. Before I move this thing, what I should have done is make sure that I don't have any edge constraints. Or actually, I have edge constraints, so I don't want to break up this line. Without the edge constraint, this thing got clipped a bit in the corners. I don't want to do that thing. So now turn off the constraints. Get this thing back to like 5. There we go. Okay, for the links, let's do the same thing we're always doing on every stream. For some reason, YouTube does not share links, so I cannot see them. I cannot see those links. So if you want to leave me a link for something for me to check out, go over to the Discord server, and in here, just get into the streaming related, and holy crap, somebody left some stuff here. All right, so we did not see this. Okay, Falcon, if you are with me, this is some great stuff. That's what I was looking for. I like this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, these are all great ideas. We're definitely going to be using some of these guys. So drop into the streaming related and leave your link in here. What are these? Valentina. Yeah, idea for table. Not really. This is more for something for the salon. So bigger room. We don't have this much for what are these stools. Dude, this is actually a cool idea for a stool. This is not hard to model. And it can be used for different things. Well, I can make this thing out of wood, which will look like it's a fun thing instead of actually having this as a metal. Cool, we're gonna make something like this. Okay, Jeff. I know Jeff is here with me. Go the hallway. What is this? Hallway. Nothing. There's no difference, but just keep it to the streaming related. All right. So if anybody has any ideas and you have any links, check the description in the video, and in there you will find details to the Discord channel. So jumping over on the Discord channel, And anyway, yes, can you model a hard surface model and can we wait tutorial to this? Tutorial to what? First thing I want to do is find it. Okay, so it's like this. Alright, so this thing has one hole in here, another one hole in here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's easy. This is cut 1, 2, 3, 4. Not too hard. Alright, I'm actually going to use this as the starting point for my door. So let's go edit poly and my hand. This thing done. Dude, you have to be more precise. What do you want me to model? Inch it around, so I get about 7 to 11. Jump for this. Alright, so we have this thing, so I want to get this, isolate just this thing, and good. Bridge this together, so I have that opening up there, and for here, these first look attach this is a clone, and then bridge these two together. And now for this one, I can see is from here that I have this board 1, 2, and then 4 additional ones. So let's do it this way. I'm going to select those two and cut across from here to there. Isolate those two and go to go with chamfer and give it like 3. Chamfer smooth type. Smooth is fine. Alright. So I'm gonna leave it as it is. So 3 centimeters is fine. Do this chamfer as well with 3 centimeters. Fine. So now I want to get this thing snap there and snap here. Same thing here. Snap it that size, snap it there. So it's no longer breaking up that thing. Snap there. Snap there. Snap there and snap there. Cool. So for this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or better yet, I might just making my life complicated. I could have just done this. So make it like so, 1 by 1. There we go. And then 45. Go like so, and get stuff with the selection. Go to slice plane. That. Slice once, slice twice. Just use that thing as a board, or just whatever. I started doing it this way. Just finish it this way. flip so I can see what that's going on. Maybe like this. Isolate. Ah, damn it. Why? Alright. Flip. And get these two with a different color so I can see what the hell is going on. Ah, different color. Hey, that just shows green again. Wow. Alright. Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna take this thing, give it a shell. Give it a shell of like 2. Same thing with this one. Shell of about 2. And select both of them, move them backwards so they're actually inside here. And there we go. Much simpler approach to this thing. I do not want to have this thing like this, so go in like that, just a tiny bit, so it's not taking up the same UV space or world space, like that. So move this thing back. There you go. Shell it inwards. 1 centimeter. 1. All right, cool. Now, just so I can see what the hell is going on, I'm gonna quickly put a UV map on it. Box 1. That's fine. UV map box 1 of that one as well. Alright, bye-bye. Well, Obaid, Ahmed, see you later, man. Thanks for joining the stream. Alright, let me quickly edit this thing. Alright, so we have a request. All right, this is actually not that hard to create, seeing as how these are multiple elements. Yeah, I can cover something like this. With this. This is the base, edge extrusion. All right, I can play around with something like this. All right, so let's quickly just add in one texture so I can see where my grain is going for the texture. So we get everything, apply this material to it. I'm gonna use an actual map for this. So here, choose one of my textures. So you guys know. Let's try with wood. Alright, I'm gonna choose a seamless wood texture. Yeah, this should be fine. Alright, so this 100 by 100 centimeters. So I know it's a meter by meter. You can get 100 as well across. Let's try actually a 10 by 10 and see how it, yeah, much closer, I guess. All right. not for this one, but still. Right, the grain is going the right way. Definitely shouldn't be protruding that much. The shell should be going in through some reason. All right, cool. I can work with something like this. Come to think of it, just so I can make it even easier on me later on when I'm in Unreal, what I can do is I can export this thing out as a very plain geometry as it is, and then use an actual material made inside Substance Designer that can cover up ornate details like this. I'm gonna have to make geometry, but for now I'm just gonna leave it as it is, so I can get some ideas as to what I want to achieve later on. So from here, I'm going to create one shape here, make it linear, that's fine. Let's cover up with a poly, so we get a plane. And this plane, I do want to have 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3. All right, this means in here for this plane, I want to have 3 cuts. Those cuts being one in here. All right, so one slice plane. There, slice, here, slice. So, very so slightly, let's try and just angle this thing so it's kind of going from one side to the other. I will cut this thing with a cut, so I'm just going to get this thing to go here once, one more cut here, and for the last one I'm just going to cut from here to here. All right, cool. So now what I want to do is select basically everything, inset it inwards, like let's try 0.5 by polygon. So let's try to pick 1 then, see how that thing works. Too much, 0.7 or 8. All right, that's big enough, cool. This. Actually, I do want to bring it outward just a tiny bit, like that. And detach. Detach is a clone. No, actually, we can detach with geometry. Isolate them like that. And on top of this, drop in a shell now. Very small shell. 0.2 should be fine. Is it? Yeah, that's fine. No issues there. You can hold that form. Now I want to just see how the thing is gonna work out with the splitting groups. That's gonna work. Crap. This is gonna be a nice addition if I want to keep this thing to be. It looks like it's made out of metal, so we have those lunges, but it's going to take so much support geometry. You know what? Go back. First of all, let's save. I haven't saved since I started. So go back, all the way back, and just. Yes. Okay. This is why I save before I do anything else that might crash Max. All right. Good stuff. At least now we have something to look at while Max is rebooting. Okay, so do you have any tutorials on UE4? I do have a few tutorials on UE4. I haven't covered it extensively. Basically, because when I started like covering like UE4, basically that's when I started working on a project for work, so I didn't have too much time to like spend with UE4. But I might pick up UE4 again and start covering it up with more in-depth tutorials. Let me just have this thing now. Now, actually, the reason why it crashed in this instance is basically whenever you create something out of Max and you want to go back, and for example, like I created this frame and I made the window, like the glass, out of it. And it tried to go back. Since I created this extra geometry, it doesn't know how to delete it, so it kind of crashes. I guess we're gonna go with this. So shell, a very small shell, like 0.1 here, just so we get some glass depth or thickness. 0.1. Quite honestly, I do like how this thing looks like. So here, $sign material equals undefined. All right, don't move that way. So this thing should go back to be like this. Just be same size. All right, it is. Map box. Go 10 by 10 by 10. Oh, hell no. I need a big one. 100, 100, 100. Probably should have done the same thing here. Alright, let's go. You always use the same format to export to UE4. You always go with FBX. Exporting with anything but FBX is for basically looking for trouble inside of them. How often do you live stream? I try to live stream at least twice a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Always the same time. 4 p.m. my time. So whatever your time is. For example, now it's 5:11, so I started like an hour ago. So make the calculations and convert that into your time. You get whenever I stream. So let's put that thing down. Okay, get this inwards. So I have one door. Okay, so if we have a door here, let's go in and add in one window. For the window, let's check out and see how big we want this thing to be. So for a window, let's go with 90 by be enough. Should be more than enough. But it's on the wrong thing, wrong side. Should be on this side. This thing should come up here. And I should not be looking from here, I should be looking from the back. Because for some reason it's considering this the back. Okay. Save really quickly and then go to compound, go to Boolean and subtraction, start picking like this thing. Yeah, this is gonna crop up all over my stuff that I've already done, so I'm not gonna do that. Instead, go with a poly and simply cut from there to this 2, 3, 4, 5. That. Move over to that side. Now just select these guys. I don't need anything else. Okay, so should extrude. But this side, so I just choose it on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, delete this. And go over there. Over there. There. Over there. Delete this border. Delete that thing. Go all the way down. Delete that. Bridge this. And we have an opening for our window. Go. I don't want to put any windows in here. Probably going to put up just a small opening up here for ventilation because I want to make this thing the bathroom. And you really don't want to have a window so people can look into the bathroom. Or maybe you want, but I don't want. So yeah. Alright, so anti-isolate now. And now in the hole, I think it's way too low, so let's just raise it up a bit. There we go. I think this is more in. Oh, the inside. Yeah, I think this is going to be enough. Cool. Actually, this is one of the things that I thought about is that I haven't actually covered any tutorials about creating either a door or a window, let alone something more complicated, like more complicated sort of a door. So I might actually cover up that thing as well in a future tutorial. That's interesting. All right, so style, wait a second. All right, so this, okay, so this window is going flush with this wall, and the wall is going flush with this piece. So I need to actually select this thing, delete, and definitely move it just a tiny bit lower. That's what it is. I don't want it sticking to there, like so. All right, cool. Why's my chair? The chair keeps falling down. All right, let me open up this thing, put it to the side. It's related. That's a nice looking chair. I like this chair. Let's see about creating something like that. Okay, we have the door. Let's add in some support geometry for the window. All right, so from here, I'm gonna actually detach this as a clone, start working from there. Make it into a shell. By 3. Which should be on the other side though. 3, yep. 3 is fine, go in, and go to the side from here. From the top, select the ones in the front. Ever so slightly, just move it outwards so we get the lip of the window. All right, so we have the frame for the window, which we can actually start creating the actual window. And get the lip on the inside as well. A different color. A different color. All right. Now for this window, there is nothing complicated about these windows. Well, we can go with something like this, but nah. Oh, I like this. So we have lines on the top, so on the sides. Yeah, this one is more in tune with what I would see in a forest, I guess. All right, so that means if I want to get that thing or that look, what I want to do is first of all, I'm going to make these things a bit thicker, something like this. Two, 3, and 4. So it kind of looks more like a plank. All right. Let me just go ahead and add an actual material to it so I can see how this thing is going to look like. I'm going to put a UV map on it, a box of just 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. And yeah, let's go ahead and add one more edit poly across these guys. Go copy on that UV map and paste it in here, and then select just the UV map and rotate it around 90 degrees and drop another edit poly on top of it. So now I have, without actually having to do any unwrapping or UV unwrapping, I have this wood grain going this way and this one going downwards. It's a nice hack or trick, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now for this, Come to see it over here. This would look much better if this was a bigger window. But the thing here is that in here there is no second floor, hence the larger window. If I do a larger window here, it's basically going to be expanding like from the bottom to the top, and I do not want to get that look. So I guess for now we're going to stick with this. All right, so here, ring, connect, create the shape. All right, the backspace, remove that thing, and here, edit poly. What the hell? Where did it go? Of course, it's gonna be some crap like this. So let's weld. Poly. Ah man, really? Alright. You want to play that way? No problem. Just use you, take the plane, and I'm done. Thank you for playing. Alright, so for this, I want to have this thing divided in the middle. So one connect in the middle. Give it a chamfer, so I have an actual connection width of, let's go 5. So this is fine. And then go select these two. Or actually, if I do that selection that way, I'm not going to do that way. There we go. So now I can select these, go inset for like 5 centimeters by polygon. There we go. Attach window glass, and of course I'm gonna whatever. Now select this one in the middle. A very small chamfer, like 0.1 maybe. Make it so it's an open chamfer. There you go. So we have some space in there. Chimney. Just isolate. There. Go target weld. There to there. There to there. First snap, and then target weld there to there, there to there. Probably could have just done this, get the whole edge and make it clear on the X. Make sure that everything is right. Make this thing clear on the X as well. Cool. So now once we put a shell is going to be on the inside, 3 centimeters, and 0 on the outside. There will be a bit of a gap in between, which is normal and more or less realistic way of like what you should expect. So that's cool. We have some pretty spot in there. Move this thing inwards. Make it known as symmetry. Maybe a shell for this thing should be 0.5 thickness. I'll leave it a moment like this. Give it a texture. And you map a box. And go 100, 100, 100. I do want to have this thing, let's say this, so 90 degrees is fine. So for now, as placeholders, not too shabby. All right, so for this, I actually want to bring these guys a bit either on the outside. If I leave them on the outside, it's gonna give me more or less a free shelf that I can use this thing. Or if I put it more to the inside, I can use this thing as a shelf to put it on the outside. But since this would be probably a window that's gonna be opened outwards, it might be better to like leave it to the almost to the edge like this, and use this thing as a shelf to store stuff, because take into account that this thing is going to be really small on the inside. So any space that we have, it's going to be really well to like use it for something, whatever. So I'm going to leave it like this for now. And okay, what is this? Diffuse and AO maps can be used with composite and V-Ray. How do you go? What do you mean? Can they be used? Can they be used in V-Ray? What do you want to use them for? Let's have here. All right, that's fine. Now, another thing I do want to get is get this thing to go all the way up. Oh, cool. This actually has more than enough room to open up the door. I was actually beginning to worry that there wouldn't be enough like room to open up this door. Cool. All right, so here, select this thing. Edge, none. Oh, edge constraints, definitely. There. Connect to one connection. Okay, so making that. Make a pool layer on the Y. Nope, X. Here on the X. Alright, so delete that thing. And in here, actually for this, all right. Is there a slot for AO in V-Ray? Okay, I'm gonna ask again. What do you want to achieve with the AO effect? Do you want it to use as a texture, or do you want to use it as a final output? Because if you want to use it as a final output, what you would probably do is you go inside the settings here for GI, and you have, now where the hell have they moved it? All right, gotta check this thing out. I know for a fact that in the previous versions, before V-Ray Next, it was in the GI over here, you had something to call, yeah, ambient occlusion. There you go. So you take this thing on, and you can control the ambient occlusion from here. How further the radius is going, how much the subdivisions are going to be for calculating the ambient occlusion and all that. Yes. Well, then if you want to use it as a texture, you can use it with, let me just see. And the textures, and here you have V-Ray, V-Ray dirt, and in here you should have the AO, occluded color, unoccluded color. So you can use it as a mode for ambient occlusion. There, you just slot up your AO in one of these slots, and you're going to be able to control with the texture. Now, what was this thing supposed to? Oh yeah, this is supposed to be the wall. So for the wall, let's just give it a thickness of 15. Maybe more, 20. Like that. Okay, one last time, just hide the roof, leave it in the way. Okay, so it just happens that this room is really not that small. It just seemed small when I was in Unreal, but in reality it's not that small. Let's select these two. I'm gonna make this thing one more on this side. In this case though, here it's gonna be up, so copy it up. It's not gonna be an exterior door, so just a regular door. Like so, placeholder at least for now. And since this is exactly the same element as this one, so you just delete that one, pull this thing back, pull it there. Cool. So we have this door going inside this room and going outside here. We have a balcony, small balcony here. So I'm gonna have to put some railing for this type of a store. So it'd be something like, yeah, very, very simple railing. So just cylinders, nothing too complicated. Let's just add something to hold that thing. I'll just in the scene explorer add in one new layer, call it windows and doors. I'm gonna get everything inside it. Doors. In, hide. Can I do modeling, character modeling in 3ds Max? I can, but why would I? 3ds Max is great when you want to like do maybe retopology, but if you're going to be doing the like actual characters, ZBrush, man, ZBrush all the way. Some people might even like come in and tell you that you can do that thing in Mudbox. Those people are not wrong, but do not listen to those people. Go with ZBrush. All right, that's fine. Okay, so well, honestly, this thing is okay. This is fine. This is Yep, that's okay. This is okay. Let's hide. Exterior walls. You're not walls. You're okay. There we go. It's fine. Yeah, 3D Coat. 3D Coat is another great choice, especially if you want to spend a bit more time to learn it. One of the things that I do like about 3D Coat is that it has a better poly paint option than like ZBrush. ZBrush kind of sucks at poly painting. So yeah, Oh, all right, this thing is no longer needed. Delete that thing. All right, so now the windows and doors are in. What the? Wait, where the hell did I put this thing? So where was it hidden? All right, whatever. So iPad, hide that thing. Why are you out? iPad, move over there. What the fuck is this? What is this? Whatever. All right, so we got that thing done. Oh yeah, one of the things that I probably should add as well is gonna be to add in some. Do I have geometry here? Yes, I do. All right, let's add in that same geometry in here then. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And detach front wall base. There we go. And de-isolate. There we go. Go from here. Copy the floor generator and paste it in here. And de-isolate. Go make it. All right, cool. Go Captain Studio. How many years of experience do you have in 3ds Max? Pushing towards 10. Right. Detach upper wall. Exterior base. And click OK. Boom. And paste. Boom. We got it. Same thing, and isolate. Give it a darker color. Nah, man, I'm not a god. Hell. If you ask me, I still consider myself somebody learning the software. I just like to have fun with this thing. All right, so this is fine. Why is there a spread? I don't want to have a spread here. So what the hell? 0, 0. What the hell do I have selected? Is there a spread in here? I don't want to have a spread. No? The hell controls the spread? One of these controls the spread, but which one? Fuck. Hell. Dude, it's not about how much experience you have here that is gonna define how good you are. It's it's more like how much time you put into making something that's similar. So it's basically all gets down to repetition. The more you like do something, the better you get. Like if you do, like, let's say 3ds Max for 15 years or 20 years, and each year you're made into like working in a different field. Like maybe you're gonna be working like 6 months into preparing stuff for architecture. And then for another 6 months, you get shifted towards to working for models for a game. Then another 6 months working for stuff or maybe photogrammetry, and then another like months for working for automotive industry, and then another 6 months working for organic models, or 6 months working for maybe environments. That is going to make it so you kind of shift all over. But if you're like focusing on one thing alone, you're going to get very good very fast into that thing. It's just repetition, you know. It's like that old proverb that says repetition is the mother of all knowledge. I was going to say repetition is the mother of all screw ups, but yeah, repetition, man. The more you do something, the better you get at it. All right. The thing is, if you're very, very good at one thing, you're going to be ideal for this bigger studio. They're looking for maybe somebody that's very profound or proficient into that's a single thing. But if you are proficient in multiple things, you're going to be ideal for a smaller studio that are just starting out, and they want somebody who can help them out on multiple fronts. At the same time, it kind of depends also on your character, because if you're one of those people that always wants to learn something new, you're gonna have some fun with this. But if you're one of those people who simply wants to get the job done and just go home and not give a crap about any work when they're free, well then I guess you want to be one of those guys that does just one thing. Alright, so do I tackle on any of the elements for the interior now, or do I tackle that element for the outside of the frame of the house? How can you get good at hard surface modeling? Practice. That's how. Do you know what's the difference between a beginner and a master? A master has failed more times than a beginner has tried. Let's see, where's that thing that I have here? A-frame house. So that A-frame house. So it's gonna be something like this. So what do we have here? So it starts from the bottom, goes upwards, and so like it goes in. Nothing too hard. All right, let's just do that thing. Okay, so for that, I'm gonna take that thing and just so I can modicum of knowing what the hell's going on. Keyboard option creation, hide first before I screw up anything else. So go in here, go box here. One of the things that I can tell you, and that is something I've actually told all the students I've ever teached, is never be afraid to screw up. That's how you learn. When you screw up, that's when you learn. Why is this thing doing this? Of course, that's why it's doing it. Doesn't have any notion about the height. So, there we go. So it can be here. Damn, this is really, really tight. How big is this thing? Measure width. Oh, it's a meter. It's not too bad at all. 105. 105 is more than enough. All right, so well then, I'm gonna use this thing. So on top of this, delete this backside. Actually, you know what? Delete the whole thing. Just gonna delete the polygon and upwards up into there. It'll collapse. Definitely not like this. It look weird as hell. So probably not that much. Oh, so it needs to go down. Okay. Let's just collapse this. Move this thing down to about 8 bake. And now we get this thing to go like all the way up to here. And this will allow me to go and unhide. Now I just want to unhide my roof. So get the roof and this thing isolated. And go cut. I can cut from here to here, or slice plane. More or less like this. And slice. Delete. What I'm left with, this thing goes in a bit. And de-isolate, hide the roof. Oh yeah. Drop and one cut in. Don't go around, just go in like that. Go by space. Go inset. Let's try 5 centimeters. Like that. And detach. Alright, that's more than enough. Give it some thickness. With the shell. Up to 5. Very, very small thickness, straight corners. Anti-isolate. Move this thing inwards, like so. Oh, actually, this isn't just the glass, this is the frame for the window. Alright, so go to inset again. Let's try with 10. That's fine. So again, detach. Alright, now this thing is going to be a shell with 0.5. God damn it, not you. Shell. And this shell is 5. Alright, remap box and go 100 by 100 by 100. apply a texture just so now it's supposed to have some wood on it later on. Alright, that's fine. Everything is how this thing looks like so far. Alright, cool. Not bad. Here, I'm just gonna have to do something about putting on an actual roof. So let's go ahead and get that thing done as well. So up here, just get this thing, detach, roof, base, side. Let's clone. Make it a shell. 0 to 5. Straighten this fine. And I think this might be a bit bigger. 10. That's gonna work. So poly, push it outwards just a tiny bit. Like that. Make sure this thing is sitting flush with the already existing geometry of this thing. Oh yeah, here it is. Alright, move everything so we can turn line with this thing and this thing. Alright, awesome. Once we have this, give it a different color. Again, visual cues very important here. So another thing that we want to do now is also, oh yeah, copy. And this thing I want as attached as a clone. And go paste. It's doing it this way. In this case, I don't want to rotate it around. So where's the rotation? Spread, no. Spread is not that thing. Spread, offset, no, rotation. Rotation, maximum rotation. Ah, damn it, I really hate when it's the direction. There we go. Alright, so here, just this guy and this guy as well. Attaches a clone. Alright, and isolate. Crap, nope. Ah! This was an amazing way to end the stream. Let's see how far back we're gonna get. All right, if I get set back all the way up until like when I started like with the previous save, I'm gonna have you, everybody that's watching this thing, to go and leave a like in the video. Let's see. Ah, amazing. Yes, thank you. I have to go all the way back. Ugh. Let's see if the autosave thing is. Shit. Alright, I'm waiting for everybody to leave a like on this thing. Ah. Now here's a good question. Where the hell does it like? Let me see what the character is in my file. Now here's a good question. Where the hell is this thing saving my auto saves? Files, I'll save auto backup. Yeah, I know auto backup is on where. Where do I go? File, documents. Oh yeah. Let me see. This way. My documents. Max, auto backup, date modified. Auto backup. Let's see how well the auto backup is going to give us. Hey, 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 hi. Yeah. All right, we are not totally screwed. We only lost like 4 minutes, opposed to like 20 minutes. Autosave to the rescue. Ha ha ha. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Autosave. Save up on a new version. Twitch, in-house projects, a Cottage 04. Nope. 04. Yes. Cottage 04. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we are finished for today. We managed to get this thing back, so now we have some doors, some windows. We got this thing half-assed done. We got the burner. We made some small changes. So next time we get back and doing this stream, we will continue with modeling some more stuff with this thing. Also, by tomorrow, if everything goes right with my rendering, I have a tutorial ready. It's more or less 95% finished. I have to edit it and render it out, and it's gonna be basically a modeling of some of the props that we did in the bar. And it's gonna be the whole work of flow from start, making the low poly, the high poly, the baking, the texturing, and importing into Unreal. So you can see that thing. It's spanning in 5 videos. I initially thought it was going to be like 1, maybe maximum of 2 videos. It ended up being 5 videos, but everything is broken down to like details. So you'll be able to follow along and learn that workflow if you do not know how to do it. So I would like to thank everybody that was with me today. We guys had some fun. Even though Max decided to crash twice, everything ended up working just fine in the end. So that would be it for today. Again, everybody go ahead and leave a like in the video. It really does help a lot. I always keep telling that, and nobody just listens. Like I get like thousands of views and like 50 people like and stuff. So go ahead, smack that like button, and I will see you in the next stream. All right, peace, everybody. Bye bye.